Welcome. And I'm just showing you here right now my brand new watercolor set. It's 36 colors. It's Japanese. I got it on Amazon and it looked like the best deal. And it happens to be Japanese watercolor set, Kuretake brand. And I'm really happy with it. I just started painting with it, but I think I'm going to be really happy with it. And I love how it has, at the bottom, it has metallic colors. And I got a brand new watercolor brush set, 12 or 14. Those are the metallic colors right down there. And I love painting with gold. Well, in acrylic paint, I love painting with gold, but we'll see about how that goes with watercolors. And I got a new watercolor brush set, which is about 12 to 14 pieces. And the brand is Artify. It's not any kind of big name brand, I don't think, but it was just a good deal at $24.99 on Amazon. And this video and my last video are the first time I've been doing watercolor in a while. So, okay, I'm going to show you this brush set. The brush that's down there already is a mop brush, which did not come with this set. I already had that mop brush. And all these are encased in plastic, little plastic bags that I took those off. Okay, I was inspired by this photo by a friend of mine who he does tons of flower photography, Jonas Weiss. He lives in Germany, and I was inspired by this, a picture of crocuses. Now, my painting does not turn out to be realistic, exactly like the way crocuses look. It's I considered it a little bit abstract stylized. But anyway, this painting and my last painting, my last video, are watercolor paintings, which I just got back into after a few years of not doing watercolor painting. But I'm in cramped quarters where I create my arts in my art space, and I have to always haul out my art supplies and put them back. I can't just leave things out because it's a multi-purpose room that I work in, so everything has to always be put away. And whenever I use mixed media or acrylic, I'm hauling out tons of supplies, which means a big cleanup. And I just felt like, oh, I want to do something, work more simply. Now, when I use my iPad digital, when I do iPad art, which I have made tons of videos on that, that really is hardly no materials, just my iPad, and that's wonderful. I hardly have no materials to get out at all, but there's no hands-on. I don't have something hands-on afterwards. I kind of like, to see work that's handmade and to do work that's handmade. So I thought watercolors are I love the simplicity of the materials required. Just watercolor paper, water, your watercolor paints and brushes. And that's it. It's a easy setup, easy cleanup. So that's kind of why I think even I'm going to keep doing watercolors in the next few videos as well. And I'd be interested to hear if you're enjoying my watercolor videos. Please like and please comment down below. I always read all my comments and respond to every comment. I really appreciate comments very much from my subscribers. So let me know if you're enjoying these watercolor paintings. But even if I don't get a big response about it, I'm probably going to keep doing it anyway. I don't know, for the next few videos at least. And I have taken watercolor classes in the past, just probably 2 or 3, but that was many years ago. So I'm kind of feeling like I've watched a few YouTube videos just to kind of freshen up on what I'm doing, and that's helped a lot. The technique I'm using right here is paint the bottom, which is usually the darkest part of the crocus, and then just using clear water, dragging up the paint so that you get a very very transparent, very light application of paint. And I started off with that V to be the top of the crocus. Here, I'm not happy with this crocus that I paint. It ends up being too wide. I should have just left it right there, and made that second one I'm painting actually make that a second crocus. Instead, this ends up being a big wide crocus. So I wasn't too happy with that, but I'm not trying to make these I'm not trying to make these paintings super realistic. I like to leave it wide open to my creativity and imagination. So even though this crocus does not turn out as realistic, I still think it can be in the abstract realm. So again, this technique is you paint it dark at the bottom, or even here I'm now at the side, and now just with clear water, I'm going to drag it. I'm going to drag that paint. Even that's quite pigmented right there. But with just clear water, drag that paint, and it becomes a transparent wash. I'm working on about 18 by 24 inch hot press paper. Hot press means it's smooth. The cold press watercolor paper is the rough kind of paper, but I prefer the hot press. So I'm working pretty large, 18 by 24. I'm referring back to my photo, and oh yeah, that's the line. The silhouette, the edge of the silhouette, and also it's diagonal. It's a diagonal design of flowers that I'm going to be going for, that I'm inspired by in that photo. I really loved like transparent washes and letting the colors blend together on their own. I mean, I'm only doing my color mixing on the paper, and then in fact this painting I'm not doing much color mixing at all. In my last video, if you check that out, of abstract flowers, I do all my color mixing on the paper. I love to just let the water blend the colors and let the water transform the shapes. Just let the water do the work, like in unpredictable and unique ways. So there are many watercolor artists, they mix their paints on the side before they paint it, but I've been watching a watercolor artist, and she does not do that at all. All her color mixing happens on the paper, and she lets it happen organically, and just so that it can create unique and unexpected results. And another thing I really love about watercolor painting is that my paint colors are all right there. I don't have to open jars that are hard to open and put color on a palette. I love how my paints are just right there. I don't have to open separate jars. I don't have to worry that I use too much paint and how much to put out on my palette. I mean, I've done a lot more acrylic painting than I've done watercolor painting, but who knows, that might change in the future. Now that I'm just so inspired with springtime, I've created so much art that's springtime inspired, and both in mixed media. My past videos, you'll see, I think everything is springtime themed. And my next future videos are probably going to be abstract flowers as well, because I'm really enjoying it. And I hope you're enjoying watching it. Again, I'm creating the silhouette of what the not the silhouette, but the outline of where the flowers would go. I'm creating the negative space. So with the greenery, I'm really, that white space is the negative space of where all the rest of the flowers are going to go. But again, painting with the green and then a green line, and then before it dries, just with clear water, dragging the paint up to create a wash, a transparent wash. Here I'm painting the center of the flower. And crocuses do have those like streaks in them, kind of like little light, very fine line stripes. And that's easy to create in the watercolor, especially with the pointy brush. So now I'm going to begin painting all the rest of the bunch of crocuses using that same technique. Now, right now I'm just painting with the clear water, dragging up that paint. Usually I work with a lot of color, but in this particular painting, I think I only use 3 colors. Purple, light blue, and maybe 2 shades of green. Oh yeah, and then in the end I do add yellow. And if you count white as a color, in my last video, that painting was quite colorful. So I don't pretend to be an expert on this, and you could just follow along in my journey with my experience with watercolors now and in the future. So for the next few minutes, as much of this is edited out, otherwise the video would be an hour or more long, I'm filling in that negative space with the bunch of crocuses. And so I'll catch you on the flip side of the next few minutes while some music is played. And I hope you enjoy watching for the next couple minutes. I'll get back to you after more of this painting is finished, because it is kind of, I'm repeating the same process and technique. Thank you so much for watching. I'm showing close-up shots of the finished painting now. I love that yellow because it looks like sunshine with that yellow wash that I added at the very end. So please join me in my future videos, and please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much. Have a great creative day.